Hello, I'm John. Welcome to my channel, This Quiet and Dragons. And in today's video, we're continuing the countdown of my 100 favourite horror movies. So, as you can see, we're not in front of the bookcase today. I thought as the horror movies get better, the filming locations should get spookier. We're at a place called White Ladies Priory in Shropshire today. I'll just spin you around so you can get a little look at where we are. So found a spot to film in the Priory. You'll have to excuse the shaky camera. I'm on like holding the tripod, so I didn't come very well prepared today. We're doing films 80 to 71 today, so we'll start with number 80, which is Nightbreed. Wonderful film, some fantastic special effects and creature effects. It's about a guy who starts having dreams and nightmares about this place called, I think it's called Midian, and he gets it into his head his therapist seems to provoke his thoughts, and he gets it into his head that he's a monster and he needs to separate himself from society. So he goes off in search of Midian and becomes a member of their society. If you do decide to watch Nightbreed, try and get the director's cut. It makes a lot more sense. A much better film. Arrow Video do a fantastic Blu-ray of Nightbreed, well worth picking up, and that's number 80, and that's Nightbreed. And at number 79 we have the third entry to John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy, and that's In the Mouth of Madness. Sam Neill plays a insurance investigator, and he goes to a small town where he investigates the disappearance of a horror author. And while he's investigating in this town, everything seems to become more surreal and strange, and really weird things start to happen, and he really starts to question his own sanity. Fantastic film. John Carpenter, he's one of my favourite directors. Sam Neill, he plays the part magnificently. Great film if you can get hold of it. Very surreal, very strange. It'll spook you out, it'll creep you out. Brilliant film, In the Mouth of Madness. And at number 78 we have a French film, a French slasher movie. One of the first films in the French wave of extreme horror, and that's Switchblade Romance. The film starts, we are following two women, and they go away for the weekend, and they're in this old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, and things quickly go downhill when they realise they're being hunted down by a unknown killer. Very gory. Some of the scenes are absolutely disgusting. Definitely check the old content warnings if you're going to watch this one. But fantastic film, really enjoyed it. If you do watch it, I highly recommend watching the subtitle version. The dubbed version has a few quirks, like they'll be speaking in English, then they'll start singing in French all of a sudden. So yeah, subtitles is the way to go. Fantastic film, that's Switchblade Romance. And at number 77 we have another slasher movie. This one's called The Burning. This one was actually banned in a lot of places. Not sure why. I don't think it's any more gratuitous than many other slasher films of its time period, but it follows, as slasher movies of the 80s do, a group of college kids and young people, and they go on like a boat trip, and there's like an urban legend of this guy who was killed by being set alight, and it's not an urban legend, he's real. He's got like a pair of shears that he uses to kill and eviscerate everybody, and that's what happens in the movie. Lots of people running away from scary man with a pair of shears. Great film, some pretty vicious special effects, really enjoyable slasher movie if that's your kind of thing, and that's The Burning. Number 76 is a movie that I saw way too young and absolutely terrified me, and that's The Entity. The Entity, it's about a woman who's living in this house, and strange things start occurring, and it turns out that she's actually being haunted by a demon. I watched this when I was about 12. Somehow I managed to record it on VHS, and I waited and I watched it, and it absolutely terrified me. I didn't sleep for days, so I'll be honest, I haven't watched it for a while, so I don't know if it'd have the same effect on me now, but absolutely terrified me when I watched it. Great film about demonic hauntings. That's The Entity. And at number 75 we have Maniac. This is the remake with Elijah Wood. I just thought this was a fantastic film, very well acted, very well made. It's about a guy who, I think he like makes and maintains mannequins during the day, and he seems a very mild-mannered individual who turns absolutely brutal and feral at night, and is actually a serial killer. Some of the kills in this are just mean and vicious, very atmospheric in places. The atmosphere is very taut. There's a sense of dread to the film. Really good film, worth watching. The original's great as well, but I prefer the remake, and that's Maniac. And at number 74 we going back to one of my favourite subgenres, animal attack films, and we have Lake Placid. Lake Placid is set on this, it's set in America, but it's a small town that relies on tourism to its this large lake, and people start disappearing and people start dying, and it turns out there's a huge alligator in this lake. We follow the main characters who are investigating the murders and trying to catch this huge alligator, and it's just a good, fun animal attack film. Not really scary, there's a few jump scenes, the gore isn't over the top really, but all the actors play their parts really well. Some tense sequences, and if you like animal attack or creature features, it's well worth watching, and that's Lake Placid. And at number 73 we have a found footage anthology film, and that's VHS. VHS is a great anthology. I think there's either 3 or 4 like short films with their overarching storyline. I can't really go too much into the short films themselves, because it's very easy to spoil them. They're really well made. So some of the stories are really well thought out, and they have some fantastic twists and turns, and once you've watched a certain one, if anyone ever says I like you, you'll just run a mile. You will run a mile. If you like found footage, great film to watch, VHS. And at number 72 we have one of the most famous and commercially successful horror films of recent years, and that's Jordan Peele's Get Out. I saw this, I didn't see it at the cinema, I did see it on, I bought it on Blu-ray. I was blown away. The sense of dread and the creeping fear that is in this film is just, it's so good. It's so good. And what is quite a simple story really takes a turn and becomes quite dark, and it becomes quite brutal in places. And yeah, it's just the themes of the film. It deals a lot with like race and that kind of thing, and it really makes you think. It really makes you think what some people have to go through and what some people will do to get what they want. Some really thought-provoking scenes in this one. If you want a horror film that's a little bit different to what you might normally watch, well worth watching, and that's Get Out. And at number 71 on my list, the last film I'm going to talk about in this episode is The Blood on Satan's Claw. It's a fantastic folk horror film. I absolutely love this one. It's about this young farmer. He's I think it's set in about the 1700s, something like that. And he's in his farm and he's plowing the fields, and all of a sudden the plow hits something and he like digs around to see what it is, and it turns out it's this really deformed skull. So with it being the 1700s in England, they automatically think demon, devil, that sort of thing. So the town that he lives in, the small village, they're up in arms and they're really scared and they're wondering what's going to go on. And then a lot of the children in the village start acting really strangely, and so obviously they think the witches abound and everyone's possessed and that kind of thing. But really, really good folk horror. Absolutely love this one, and that's The Blood on Satan's Claw. Thank you for watching. Sorry if this episode feels a little bit rushed with my descriptions of the films. I had to film quite quickly. There's quite a few people about. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoy me going to a different location to film the episodes. If you've seen any of these films, let me know in the comments what you think of them, and tell me your own favourites. That'd be great to hear, and we can start talking about horror movies in the comments. As always, hope you're enjoying what you're reading. Hope you're all taking care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers. Bye.